friends. I hope everybody's well today. I heard from a few folks when I told them I was doing some home hydroponics during our quarantine time that you would like to learn how to do it. So I thought I'd do a really quick video that will help you get started. It's super easy and probably have most of the things you need in your own home. So what I did is first I went and I purchased a bunch of these kind of bottles. This is, I believe, 3 cups worth each one. And I got them for 25 cents a piece. So I bought like 6 of these and I purchased them at Deseret. But if you go to any secondhand store, you'll find tons of these canning bottles, okay? It's great if you can get the canning bottle with the lid because it helps with, these are gonna be what we're gonna be using in order to grow. I know, crazy, right? But you ultimately, you'd like it to be able to hold on itself. These are too big, so they'll just fall in, just like that. So to deal with that, I had to get kind of creative because I can't go to the store, or at least I don't want to go to the store. I'm trying to stay out of public as much as I can. The only thing I'm doing out in public now is like trying to go really early in the morning to get a skate in so that I'm not around other people. But I had some Chinese chopsticks, that is, from previous stores. You know, you go out and you eat and they give you a bunch. So I have a bunch in here, and what I'm doing is I'm just breaking them in half. And then I'm taking a couple rubber bands, and I don't know if you can see it, but what I've done is I've just put the rubber bands around each of the sticks like that. Like that. It's pretty easy. It's a good solution. And so as you can see, it will sit pretty nicely in our bottle. And it's important because we want the container that we use to grow our food in to be able to go all the way down so that the water can get into it, basically. Now, the next thing is what to grow things in. I'm using the Activia, I think that's what it's called, Activia yogurt. I purchased this kind of yogurt specifically because I knew I could use these for my hydroponics. And what I've done is, as you can see, I've cut all the way around. There's another cut right here, and one here, and one in the center. And I just used a knife. I highly suggest starting in the center first, doing your center hole there, and then doing 4 on each side of your container, okay? And this is what we're gonna be growing. So what I have here is mostly lettuce, and then I think this little one here is a garlic chive, okay? And we started them, we got these little pods at the home improvement store. They're really inexpensive. And what you do is you take a single seed, you put it in the pod, and then you let them sprout. And that's what we've done here. The next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna put our sprout into our little bottle, just like that, boom. That's it. As you can see, it fits perfectly in there. And that's pretty much why I chose these yogurts, as well as I knew it would be a good fit. And we are using Dr. Earth Pure Gold Handcrafted Blend Organic Pump and Grow All-Purpose Plant Food. So it's about 8 pumps for a gallon, and I have this growler that I have not been able to fill up. So this is a half a gallon. So this is water, and then we have 4 pumps of the plant food right in here. Now, it's good if you also have a bottle like this to keep it filled up while you're working on your hydroponics, because the water is going to evaporate from the bottles and you have to kind of fill it up on a regular basis. So this is kind of important. So just pour the mixture into your canning jar, just like that. And then you're going to take your plant and you're going to put it in just like that. And then the last thing you need to do is you actually need to cover this jar with newspaper or regular paper. And the reason you need to do that is because we're using just water, sunlight and water means mold. So you want to avoid having any mold in your hydroponics. So what I am going to do is I'm going to wrap all of these jars with paper, but I'm going to wrap it in such a way that I can take the paper off and look to see if everything is going well, because you're going to want to be able to lift it up and to see if the roots are actually making its way down through the apparatus. And here's a final look at my homemade hydroponics. As you can see, I put paper all around the bottles in order to stop light coming in. And I just put a rubber band here in order to hold it down. Because the yogurt bottles I'm using kind of also allowed a lot of sunshine to get around here in the top, I just made a couple round circles. I used a catalog that I was sent for classes, which I can't take. So it seems like a good way to recycle that information. Just a few final thoughts before I leave you. If you're living in a super dry climate and you're trying to germinate your seeds, you might want to create like a faux kind of greenhouse environment effect for the plants, so that there's more water. This will maintain the moisture, and so it'll keep the dirt moist as I'm trying to germinate my seeds. So I got a couple of these last year on sale before the end of the season. This is basil, and I have some sugar snap peas over here, and these are little cherry tomatoes. And the final thing I want to tell you about is about your water. If you live in Utah or another place that has hard water, there's a good chance you have a water softener at work in your house. And if that's the case, don't use that water. And the reason is this, is that the water for water softeners are put through a massive amounts of salt. And hold on one second and I'll show you. Okay, so I'm down in my basement, and this is my water softener kind of equipment here. And what happens is the water fills up this tube here. And as you can see, that's all salt. That's all that is. This is all just, it's all just salt. And the water is run through the salt and then sent to the rest of the house. But because it's salt in your water softener, the problem is that when the plants get the water, they're getting a lot of sodium in that water as well. So the plants tend to think that they're still thirsty, even though they're not. So they basically drown themselves with the water because they constantly think they don't have any water. So whatever you do, don't use water that is coming anywhere in your house that has gone through your water softener in order to grow your plants. Rather, get some water from the outside or a different spigot. We literally have a spigot that does not go through the water softener at all, and that's the spigot we have to use. So just a little heads up on that. And that is it. If you work it right, you can rotate the growing process so that you always have lettuce or whatever you want available to you. And that's what we're going to do. So I'm going to start with 4 today, and then probably about 3 weeks from now, I'm going to start 4 more. And then if you keep rotating like that, you can make sure that you have the food. The other thing I would suggest is you want to make sure that your hydroponics is somewhere where you have some light coming in. Right? So we're using a window in our living room to make sure that it's getting enough light throughout the day. And that's it. I hope that you have fun with your hydroponics. I hope that you get creative with it, and let me know how it goes. Aloha.